you. Good to see everybody. Good morning on day one, middle of day one. So, my name's Andy Wynn. I lead a company called TTIP Global, and we're a unique organisation dedicated to bringing the best clean technologies to the world. We're a truly global organisation, and we focus on adoption, on mass deployment, on all the things that have to happen once the technology has been developed. Commercialization, that's what we do. But we do this in three ways. Support businesses in three ways. First of all, we work with startups and scale-ups, and we help them with their number one commercialization barrier. They need money, they need revenue, so we help them find customers, we help them bring investors in, we help them introduce them to overseas markets. We also work, number two, with established companies, where we help them to capture new growth opportunities through market surveys, market studies, road mapping exercises, helping them to scale up their physical assets. And third of all, what we're most proud of, we work with multinationals on the internal barriers to commercialization. So we have unique training programs where we're bringing teams around the world together. We break down organizational barriers, and we get them to build a culture of collaboration. So wherever there are barriers to commercialization, we seek them out, and we help our clients to deal with them. Now, we work with some of the most exciting emerging deep tech companies, but also some of the biggest companies on the planet. But our aim in TTIP is to accelerate the commercialization of those technologies which are going to make a big difference to the environment and society. And I'd like to show you just a few examples of the technologies we're helping companies to bring to market. So, all of these have, of course, advanced materials at their heart. This is the Advanced Materials Show. And as you will see, advanced materials are the building blocks of all industry sectors. They're the building blocks of all clean technologies. So we do a lot in renewable energy, we do a lot in batteries. So for example, we're working with a company called Novanode. They are a very early stage spin-out, and they're bringing really game-changing materials technology. They convert biomass into carbon material, which are suitable for producing anodes. Completely sustainable new material solution. Instead of digging up dirty graphite and shipping it all around the world instead of synthetic graphite. So we're working with a company called GDI. They are a US-based organization, and they're bringing truly game-changing 100% silicon anodes to the market, and we're helping them to establish a leader. We're working with a company called Forge Nano. I believe they have a stand here today. So Forge Nano have atomic force deposition technology, atomic layer deposition technology, and these help many of the individual components in the cell to outperform their standard components. We're working with a company called Flex Ceramics, and they're bringing truly innovative inorganic separator technology to the market to make batteries safer. We also work, for example, in the cutting edge of graphene. We're working with a company called LPM, a Dutch company that have a really innovative process for making truly single layer graphite. They can produce the largest flake size possible and zero defects. They lay down methane, CVD, onto molten copper. Really groundbreaking stuff. And that of course can open up really next-gen operations like biosensing. We also work with a company, Pure Emissions, for example, Advanced Materials at their heart. They have nanocatalytic filtration technology, and that strips out pollutants to clean up the air for shipping, also reducing the carbon footprint. Those are just some examples, but we all know the road to commercialization is not an easy one. There's lots of great technologies out there that will never get off the bench, let alone get through your management team or get to a customer. It turns out the the biggest barrier to success for new technology. It's not the R&D, it's not creating the technology in the first place, it's commercialization, it's mass deployment, it's manufacturing at scale. And ultimately, technologies, of course, will never see mass deployment unless somebody is making money from it. This is an industry, this is business. So what have we learned in our journey? In TTIP, we focus on commercialization. So what have we learned are the essential skills, the essential things you need for successful commercialization of new technology? We see 5. We've been doing this for many years, and we see there are 5 key themes. So number 1, contacts. If you don't know the right people who can open the right doors, open access to partners, you're going to struggle. Number 2, find your niche. And by that I mean a lot of technologies, and you'll see them around here, they are technology platforms, they're not products. And therefore they can be applied in 1,001 different applications. And so that's what companies tend to do. They tend to do this scattergun approach. And they try it in hundreds and hundreds of different applications in the hope that 1 or 2 are going to be game-changing commercial for them. But there's a huge drain on resource. It takes far too much time to deliver that. The industrial business-to-business sectors are highly complex. There are many, many different unique applications. And so you need to do your homework. You need to understand the markets first before you try this scattergun approach. It will save you a lot of time and money. So the third theme we see, the third key barrier, the essential skills of commercialization, is to tell a good story. If you put technologists and investors in a room, it generally doesn't go well. Technologists do not speak investor. Investors do not understand technology. You need somebody to interpret in the middle. And the fourth one is the biggest one of all, the biggest barrier to commercialization. Pick the right team. Nothing will destroy your new venture faster than if you hire the wrong person. I know, I've done it. You're not going to get very far on your own. Of course you need a range of skills. But if you take someone on board, if you hire someone who does not share your values, who does not share the vision and passion for what you're trying to achieve, it's going to take the whole thing down. Do not hire somebody just because of what is written on their CV. They have to mesh with your culture, with what you are trying to achieve. That is more important than anything at all. Because if you don't, what you'll find is you end up spending a lot of your time and energy managing inwards in your company instead of outwards engaging with the market. And the number 5 essential skill of all. Technology commercialization, we all know it's a long game. You're going to hear the word no a lot. It takes a lot of persistence, patience and grit. You'll meet a lot of doubters and skeptics. Probably in some of your conversations here today. I hear sometimes with some of our customers the phrase, that's too good to be true. Skeptics, doubters. You have to push through that. You have to be persistent. You have to knock on a lot of doors. That's the game of sales, and that's certainly the game of if you want to invest. So you have to have persistence, patience, grit, and you need it in bucket loads. So, what's the secret overall? So these are the 5 key themes. How do I sum that up? Well, the number 1 piece of advice I would give is that technology commercialization is not about technology. It's about people, it's about building relationships. That will make or break your venture. And you have to realize that decision makers are everywhere. There's a whole bunch internally in your business, people you have to convince, and certainly externally, out in the real world, not just customers. Lots of people you have to build relationships with, This is the rate determining factor when it comes to technology commercialization.